may peace, mercy, and blessings be upon you. Today, I want you to stay on till the end of this video, because at the very end, I will make a special invocation just for you, so that what you are waiting for from Allah will finally open up. Stay attentive, because this message is not coming from me. It may be coming directly to your heart. Listen carefully. May 25th. A day that seems ordinary to many. A date that might go unnoticed in a calendar filled with obligations, broken promises, and unanswered silences. But what if I told you that there are days that are not chosen by chance? That certain dates carry a divine secret, a new season, an opening written long ago in the heavens? What if this day was your date with destiny? What if Allah was calling you through this video? Not by chance, but because you are ready to hear, ready to see, ready to receive. I want you to open your heart, because what I'm going to share with you today is more than just a reminder. It's a heavenly warning, a half-open door that you must embrace with faith. Have you been feeling a strange pressure lately? A prolonged silence from Allah? An endless wait, as if something were brewing in the unseen? You weren't dreaming. What you're feeling isn't wrong. For sometimes, Allah silences the world around you so that you can hear Him. And sometimes, He hides your blessings until your heart is ready to carry them without pride, without confusion. Brother, sister, listen to me carefully. The change you're waiting for won't come loud and clear. It will come slowly, perhaps even on May 25th. But to be ready to welcome it, you need to connect with your Creator now, understand the signs, and emerge from the fog that's tiring you. You didn't stumble upon this page by mistake. There's divine wisdom behind the fact that you're listening to this now. This isn't just a video. It's a mirror for your soul. It's a message that awakens something within you. And the further you read this video, the more you'll understand that this isn't a general reminder. It's a personal revelation. Something is going to change for you. It's not me saying it. It's your intuition. It's the rahmah of Allah whispering to your heart, I never forgot you. Get ready. What you're about to hear could change your entire year, maybe even your entire life. And this is just the beginning. Hold on tight, for what is coming is divinely orchestrated. And in the end, I will pray for you, that you do not miss this season of light. When Allah plans a change in your life, nothing and no one can come between you and what has been destined for you. Even if you live in the shadows, even if no one understands you, even if it feels like nothing has changed for months, what God has written for you will come at the exact moment your heart is ready to receive it. These are not mere coincidences. They are divine timings beyond your understanding. Perhaps you've prayed for entire nights. Perhaps you've fasted in silence in the hope of an answer. Perhaps you've continued to give, to hope, to love, despite the wounds. And nothing. The sky seems silent. The world seems indifferent. You may wonder if Allah has forgotten you. But no, this silence is not abandonment. It is construction, refinement. For Allah is the one who prepares His servants with precision. And in every wait, in every breath you've patiently let pass, He has brought you a little closer to the moment no one can snatch from you. Perhaps this is why you're watching this video today. Because May 25th is approaching. And in the invisible, there is movement. Something is happening that you can't yet see. You may only feel tired or unusually sensitive. But your soul senses something happening. A release, a surprise, a deliverance. And it's in these moments when nothing seems to change that everything is changing. Allah doesn't need noise to transform a life. He works in the depths of silence.
where your heart remains connected despite appearances. You don't need to understand everything right now. You don't need to control everything. What you're experiencing is exactly what's needed to prepare you to receive what you've asked for. Even delays are part of God's mercy. He sometimes protects you from what you think you want, to open you up to something you never even imagined. It's in this wisdom that you must remain anchored. Don't be discouraged. If you knew what's coming, you would dance with gratitude, even in tears. And this day that's coming, this date that may seem like any other, may bear the stamp of your deliverance. Some changes only happen when you have nothing left to hold on to except Allah. When you reach that point of true surrender, that position of pure vulnerability, that's when He steps in. And you'll see that everything that seemed closed suddenly opens. Not because you've been pushing, but because He has decided the time has come. You can't rush a divine blessing, but you can prepare for it. You can remain faithful during the silence. You can make your waiting an act of worship. The world around you may not notice, but Allah sees your resilience. He sees that you keep walking even when your legs tremble. He sees that you smile even when your heart is weary. He sees that you still make supplication when all seems lost. And it is this faith that He rewards. It is not a comfortable faith. It is a courageous faith. It is the one the prophets carried. It is the one the chosen ones nurture in solitude. And perhaps May 25th is one of those days marked by heaven. One of those days when a promise is fulfilled, when pain turns to light, when a season of miracles begins. You don't need to figure it all out right now. You just need to hold on a little longer. Your story isn't over. It's changing. You may be wondering how to know if your miracle season has truly begun. You don't see anything extraordinary. You don't feel any visible upheaval. And yet, something has changed. Not in the world around you, but within. There's a strange peace. There's a calm you didn't have before. As if despite everything you're going through, despite the uncertainties and the hurt, your heart has understood that something else is being born. And this feeling doesn't come by chance. It's the first sign that your miracle has already begun. When you enter a new spiritual season, Allah always begins by transforming your inner state before changing your outer environment. It's not an event first, it's a sensation. It's not a loud response, it's a subtle calming. You're no longer in rebellion. You're no longer in fear. You're not even in constant doubt. You're just ready. And that's a sign many don't recognize, because they expect an explosion of change, a sudden shower of blessings. But Allah works in silence. And sometimes, the greatest miracle is that you're still breathing when everything inside you wanted to give up. There are other signs, discreet but powerful. Sometimes, Allah removes certain people from your life without a clear explanation. You suddenly feel alone, but it's not an empty solitude. It's a protective separation. He pushes away those who cannot be part of the next stage. And this emptiness isn't a void. It's a purification. He purifies you, He liberates you, He isolates you to reposition you. And if you accept this solitude as a mercy, you will see that it is not the end of a cycle, but the beginning of a rebirth. You also notice that certain doors are beginning to open slowly. These aren't spectacular openings, but small signs of encouragement, an unexpected opportunity, a word that comes at the right time, a seemingly ordinary encounter that exudes a special energy. These are subtle invitations from heaven, clues that the divine plan is unfolding. Nothing grand, but everything has a new flavor, as if Allah is showing you that the path is finally beginning to take shape. your heart also becomes more receptive. You cry more easily before a verse, an invocation, a reminder. This is not weakness. It is the purification of your heart. It is the soul recognizing the approach of something sacred. And the more you advance in this sensitivity, the more you realize that your soul thirsts for truth, for light, for elevation. You no longer want to argue with everyone. You no longer want to convince. You just want to be with Allah. And this refocusing is another strong sign that you are no longer in the phase of dispersion, but in that of alignment. You also notice that some prayers you used to pray with pain become easier. You feel a deeper connection in your prostrations. You don't necessarily have the words, but your heart speaks. You feel something flowing gently within you, like a peace that no longer depends on circumstances. You find yourself smiling without reason, hoping without proof, believing without seeing. And that's when you recognize that faith grows in silence, like a seed that germinates far from view. You no longer wait for things to change. You change with them. And this inner disposition is the key that opens doors. Allah never delays a miracle. He waits until your heart is ready to carry it without it becoming a test. He waits until your gaze no longer turns to the means, but to Him alone. And when this shift occurs, everything around you begins to move. You may not see it yet, but you are already in the season of response. And perhaps what you feel right now as you listen to this message is proof of that. For your soul recognizes what your mind cannot yet explain. And if you continue to follow this path with sincerity, with patience, with trust, you will see that what you thought was far away was already there, hidden beneath your feet. There is always a storm before the light, a denser darkness just before the dawn. Those who experience divine transformation never undergo a change without first being tested in the deepest foundations of their being. This is the law of heaven. Before you receive, you are emptied. Before you ascend, you are brought low. Before the light manifests in your life, you are confronted with what within you must die so as not to block the light from entering. The test always precedes the miracle. This is how Allah prepares His closest servants. You may have wondered why things have become so difficult lately, why prayers seemed unanswered, why doors remained closed, why the people you cared about drifted away. You may have cried out in silence, asked for help without response, waited without any sign. And yet, all of this is not the end. It is the preparation, the purification, the compression before the explosion. The moment when Allah shapes your heart, your soul, your vision, so that you do not receive your miracle with ingratitude or heedlessness, but with a wisdom that only trial can impart. Great destinies are not built easily. It is in pain, in tears, shed in secret, in nights where your only company was the remembrance of Allah. This is where your miracle begins to take shape. Not in what you see, but in what you feel without being able to explain it. The test is where Allah takes away what you believed necessary to show you that only He is enough. He closes human paths so that you can rediscover the divine way. He silences the voices of the world so that you hear only His word. And when you pass this stage, something opens. Not outside at first, but inside. A new certainty, a powerful peace, a calm strength. Many give up at this point, just before relief, just before the breakthrough, just before victory. Because the test is painful, long, confusing. Because we don't understand what Allah is doing. Because we believe He has forgotten us. But those who persevere, those who refuse to give up, even when everything inside them trembles, they see what others will never see. They see the light after the crushing blow. They see the answer that isn't what they imagined, but is exactly what they needed. And they understand then that each suffering was a brushstroke in the picture that only Allah saw in its entirety. If you are going through a time today when all seems lost, if you feel your heart is weary, your faith wavering, know that you are not alone. What you are experiencing is not rejection. It is refinement. Allah is not testing you to break you, but to rebuild you. He is not humiliating you to lower you, but to elevate you to a level you can only reach through patience, trust, and pure love. The test is a message. You're about to receive something great, but your heart must first be lightened of anything that might weigh it down at the moment of reception. What you are experiencing now is not the end. It is the last bend before the opening. Keep this idea like a flame within you. You are a few steps from a turning point, and the further you go, the more you will see that each tear has nourished a seed, that each fall has strengthened your roots, that each silence has taught you to listen to what the noise of the world cannot reveal. You are about to understand that the test was proof that your miracle is very real, very close, and that it arrives with a beauty that only patience can make blossom. There are times in life when you feel pushed aside, as if the world continues to turn without you. You are not rejected, but you feel invisible. You are not abandoned, but you feel a profound emptiness. The silence of Allah becomes heavier than the cries of the world. Isolation becomes your daily life. You continue to pray, to do what is necessary, but nothing changes, and everything around you seems to shut down. And yet, this moment, this silence, this isolation, this is exactly where the construction of your miracle begins. You may not see any concrete results, but your heart is changing. You are changing. The old you is slowly dying to allow a more aligned, stronger, closer to Allah to be born. And this can only be done in withdrawal. Allah hides you to better reveal you. He makes you go through the incomprehension of others so that you can finally understand for yourself. He takes you away from human arms so that you can find His arms again. He takes away from you what you believed was necessary to show you that He alone is enough.
Many ask Allah for a miracle, but few are willing to walk by faith before seeing it. Few accept that the key lies not in immediate results, but in total trust. You can pray 1,000 times without seeing any change, but the one who still believes in the 1,000th prayer as if he were praying the first, he sees the unimaginable. Because his faith is no longer based on appearances, but on the pure love he has for Allah. A love that says, even if nothing changes, I believe. Even if I fall, I return. Even if the world tells me to give up, I remain standing. You must understand that the miracle does not always come when you want it. It comes when you are no longer running after it. It comes when you surrender to Allah without fixed expectations. When you say, Ya Rabb, I don't understand everything, but I trust you. And this trust opens doors that even your strength could not force. Because Allah responds to those who give Him their heart, not just their words. Maybe you're reaching that point. That moment when all you have left is faith. And that's enough. It's even more than enough. For Allah has promised you. He never disappoints those who place their trust in Him. This phrase is not symbolic. It's real. You must live it, embrace it, and you will see that the things you thought impossible will slowly begin to move around you. Sometimes silently, sometimes without warning, but they will move. Keep walking with confidence. Even if it's slow, even if it's unclear, even if you feel like you're alone, every step you take with faith builds a road you can't yet see. And one day,
You'll look back and realize that the faith you had in the dark led you into a light you could never have reached otherwise. If you've listened this far, it's not just a coincidence. Your soul was meant to hear these words. You could have been somewhere else, doing something else, ignoring this message like so many others. But you stayed. You felt that this wasn't just another reminder, but an intimate conversation between you and heaven. Because Allah, when He wants your heart to understand, sends you precise signs at precise times and speaks through the channels you're ready to hear. What you're experiencing, what you're feeling at this moment is not trivial. You're at the end of one season and the beginning of another. You're on the border between waiting and responding, between trial and deliverance. This shift begins first in your heart. And right now, at this moment, Allah reaches out to you. You must no longer doubt. You must no longer dwell on what you already know. You have prayed, you have endured, you have held on, you have wept in silence, you have waited without understanding. And today, you are entering a new stage. It does not cry out, it does not yet shine, but it is there, gentle, hidden, stable. It unfolds in the calm, in the silence, in the invisible. You may not see it, but it has already begun. And each day that comes will bring you closer to it. It is no longer a question of knowing when, but of believing that it is already underway. The change you have been waiting for so long is in motion. Allah has already initiated what you have not yet seen. And soon, what you felt subtly will become visible, real, concrete. You will then understand why you had to go through all this. But before I close this moment, let me offer you what I promised you from the beginning. A prayer, offered from the heart, for you who are listening. Do not believe that it is meant for someone else. If your heart is touched, it is because it belongs to you. So close your eyes if you wish, and listen with your soul. May this invocation rise to heaven in your name. May it pierce the invisible veils and touch your destiny. Allahumma, you who know the invisible, you who see the tired hearts, the patient souls, the silent prayers. Look at your servant, your handmaid, who listens to you now with hope, sometimes with pain, but always with faith. Ya Rab, open before him, before her, the doors that no one else can open. Make this month, this day, this year, the beginning of a season of miracles. Remove what weighs down, destroy what holds back, purify what blocks, and renew what is dying. Fill his heart with a light that nothing can extinguish. Make her feel your presence like never before, and grant him what he expects, or better yet, what you know to be best. Don't let him go without tasting your rahmah. Don't let her leave this moment without receiving a sign of your love. Replace her tears with smiles, her pain with blessings, and her emptiness with your peace. Amen. And you who are listening, don't doubt anymore. Your story isn't over. It begins now. What you are waiting for is already coming your way. You just need to stay a little more connected, a little more confident. And you will see that the one who created you never left you alone, not even for a second.